Alright, everybody, how's everybody doing today on our live stream here? I just realized the stuff from last stream is still here, so I had to remove that. So how's everybody doing today? Alright, let me get the bot going, the bot's working. Yeah, still stuff isn't showing up though. Alright. Okay, so what new stuff do we have for you guys in store? I don't know anything actually too new this week. What do you guys think? Anybody? I'm trying to think of anything new going on. I don't think we do. Which is surprising. But anyways, I forgot my voice changer was.
But with the voice changer, I do have, if I decide to, then I can actually do a bleep on there. So that's a nice feature of it. So yeah, I was playing around with that. I forgot, but I'm actually running it through the voice changer because it's got like the the bleep, so I can do that. Put it back. Oh. Anyways, we're already derailed off of the topic here. I mean, I can put it back.
Like, there you go. Just like that. No one sounded like hell 9000. I'm sorry, but I can't let you do that, Dave. I'm going to run this print, and it's going to fail. And just for fun, I'm going to disable thermal runaway protection. Where's module? So, or should I just do
this, and then anybody that comes in just thinks that this is normal? I don't know. This would definitely throw people off. Definitely throw people off. So, anyways,
we go back to how if we want. But this is our weekly live stream where we do Q&A. We'll go ahead and turn that off because it's probably gonna get annoying, or should I just keep doing it? Let's keep it on. Let's see. People are gonna be like, wow, this guy's voice is weird. It was never been here before. So anyways, this is our Q&A. We do a live stream every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central. I do have one announcement in that we are doing our Valentine's contest. If you guys want to enter our Valentine's contest, you can go to our website and click. It's right on the front, so we actually have a thing on the front of the website showing the name of the contest going on, and the entries end on the 11th. How do we turn that effect off? But how will go is much better. I mean, I could use this like.
What if I use this to like read when some idiot leaves like a Karen type review? Would that be funny? I feel like that'd be pretty funny.
But I'll go back to the normal thing. So this actually has like a filter. This is just a clean filter, so it will just kind of clean up the audio, if that makes sense. So anyways, it looks like it's a little bit hot. There we go. I'm looking at my levels here. So the Karen voice, I should just make that, save that as a preset, the Karen voice. That'd be funny. With the lower voice, you need some EQing. It's supposed to sound like, who here has seen, what is it, Space Odyssey? Is that what it's called? It was a Stanley Kubrick film, wasn't it? I think it was 2001: A Space Odyssey. Yeah, with HAL 9000, the computer that takes over the world. Sometimes I wonder if having all this home automation stuff is going to lead to that. But then I just remember I can go downstairs and unplug the server and everything will stop running. So there's that. But that's a good movie if you guys haven't watched it. So, yeah, I don't have anything new. I still haven't mounted my VR stuff yet. I've been slacking on that. But, ooh, it's out in 4K. I'll have to see if I can get that in 4K. That'd be a good movie to get in 4K. I am a 4K whore for terms of videos. Gotta love me some 4K. So, anyways, how's everybody doing today before we get into the stream? We do have people to pull names from the last month's giveaway. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up, or we usually do Wheel of Names. I'm going to put everything in Wheel of Names. How's that sound? Stupid fact, HAL, all letters are one before IBM. I did not actually know that. That is, that has to be intentional. There's no way that's not intentional. All right. So there are a couple blanks here. I don't know why. I think people just didn't fully fill out the form. Why is this not sharing my monitor? It's sharing the wrong monitor. There we go. All right. So I got everybody's names in here from the last month's giveaway. So we're gonna see who won. So who's gonna be the lucky winner of last month's $100 gift card? Let's see. Oh, it looks like it's Wild KS 1974. So we're gonna go ahead and make a note of that. Oh, hey, Panda's here. Hey, Marketing Panda. It's Wild KS 1974. Protect me, Remo. Be a good security dog. Attack. Get him. 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 Remo has identified a threat. Remo does not like the panda suit. Can you guys tell? I'm just going to make a note here that Wild Chaos won the giveaway, and then we're going to get into the questions here. So here we go. I noted it, and here's the question. So you guys need to ask questions. The only question here right now is from Joe asking how to turn the sound effect off. But it's off. I'm just using it to clean up my voice, and I've got a beep key, so I can swear, and as long as I press the button, you guys don't actually hear it. It's great. I feel like that adds more comedic value than actually swearing. What do you guys think? Panda regrets everything. All right, so we need questions, guys. I was hoping at this point you guys would answer some questions.
If questions are not entered in, the stream will end involuntarily.
How's the SV06 working? The SV06 is right here. It's actually got one of our, we called them the Easy ABL-T because it's a top mount sensor. Oh God, I can kind of one-hand it. This sucker's heavy. So I'm doing test fitting on getting the Easy ABL on here. So this is the T sensor. I think I'm going to have the manufacturer, when we do another run of these, make these a little bit shorter because they are taller than our old sensors. We're in the midst of, kind of doing some newer things with the Easy ABL kits, like trying to refresh that product line. And one of those things is moving the sensor adjustment to the top, because like this is an older one, but just to give you an idea. So the current Easy ABLs, which we do have more of these on the way in, they have them on the side here, which is, it doesn't bother me that much, but I will agree when people have said they missed the ones where they had the adjustment on the top. So that's what we're going to be moving to. So, but I got to get all those manufactured and get that ramped up. So it's going to be a ways out, but either way, all right. So, and I am going to be working internally, on getting the website like cleaned up and updated. So I want to reorganize everything. That's part of our goal for this year, is get our website redesigned. So everything's easier to find, the site's easier to navigate, and then also engaging with more updates on the site so you guys know what's going on, like right on the front page, instead of having to like click through or follow like our YouTube channel. Like basically keep things up to date and make things easier to find. One thing I actually spent some time last night was making like printer specific listings for power supplies, because not everybody's going to realize, oh hey, I need this specific wattage and voltage of power supply for my printer. So we're making product pages, just using the power supply as an example, where you can just select Ender 3 power supply, and a power supply that'll work with your Ender 3 will show up at your door, that kind of thing. So if you guys have any ideas on what kind of stuff you'd like, maybe you saw a different type of thing on another site, like if there's other improvements we can make to our site, one of the other things, and I'm actually going to ask you guys a question here. Would something like address auto-completion when you're entering your order, would that be something that you guys would like? Because I feel like it's a 50-50 shot if a website actually has that or not. I do like it myself, but I don't know if people would like that. I don't know why this bot is telling people they're getting points, because we don't have any sort of points or currency enabled. So I don't know why it's let me see what it's doing here. All right, I see what happened. There was I restored from an old backup onto this computer. So all right, let's see. All right, I'm gonna get into the Edrix autocomplete. Yes, please. Let's see. Let's do a poll, and then we'll get into the questions. I'll just do that because it's easier. So to do a poll, you guys just do. Hang on. Let's see yes or no. All right. So we'll just do that for a minute there. So basically, do exclamation point vote and then 0 for yes, 1 for no. Let us know. I'm curious to know if that's something we should spend the time implementing, because we'll probably have to get a plugin, which obviously is going to like cost money. But I think if people, why does nobody get the? There you go. Nemo Griff got it. Vote 1, vote 0. Yeah. So I wish the bot was like easier to use for the polls, but this is all running on my computer here. So. Vote vote 0 for yes. I should have done no being 0, being a computer person. So it looks like it's something that we should probably do here. I'm thinking people are very see, it's like a split. It's like 5 to 4, 5 to 4. So is this something that most people just don't care about? Am I being picky? I don't know why this bot. So we're using the Streamlabs chatbot to do like the polls and everything. I don't know why it starts the options at 0. Like, I don't know why. Yeah, like I'm just gonna put that in here. I don't know why it won't let me like change it. Allow multiple voting. No, like why is it? Well, it won't even let me like change the option ID. It's just 0 to 1. It's nice. Yeah. So it's a nice to have. Okay. That's kind of where I was at. All right. So, well, let's get into the questions here. You guys can ask questions while we're going. If I need any more information when I read your question, I usually will say your username and then read your question. So listen up and be ready to type a reply, because if I need more information, I will ask you. And if we don't get it in, a short period of time, we'll move on. All right. So just somebody else that wants to help me build my printing room. I am good. I've got enough of my projects that need to get done. Lossing says, did the new site build the new firmware now? Sorry if this is covered already. Yes, it does. So our new unified firmware is running the new firmware that does input shaping. However, and I'll just run through this really quick. We do not have it in the wizard because this is a, it's a, experimental / community feature. It's not something we do tech support on. So basically, like if you want to use it, it's there, but it is not something that like our tech support is going to cover helping you use, because this is a very niche feature. It's not like a core part of the firmware, but it is available. So if we go to the Easy Firmware site, you can go here. If you want to do it on the Easy Firmware site, you can do it one of 2 ways. If you want to put the input shaping, that is. If you're not going to use input shaping, then you can still use the easy config that works as normal. But you can either upload the config file, so you can download them from right here and get a copy of them and edit them on your computer. Or if you go to the online editor, you can just edit the file as if it was on your computer. So, basically if I want to do, I want to do one here, I'll do EasyBoard V2. I'm just going to give it a name. I'll tell it I have an Ender 3. Maybe, yeah, we're probably running ABL. So there we go. I'll comment the ABL. And let's say I want to play with input shaping. I scroll down. It's towards the bottom under community requested features. So input shaping. So I'd want to just uncomment input shaping and then tell it I'm not a robot. I don't know.
It might be a robot. I have some doubts sometimes.
All right. So anyways, we uncomment that, and then I'm going to hit submit, and then it's going to build the firmware. So once it builds the firmware, it'll spit out the firmware.bin. Now, it doesn't take that long. You can see here everybody else's compiles here. Like here's somebody that screwed something up. So if you get a failed, you can look at the firmware logs. Let's see what this guy broke. Let's see. He uploaded an old configuration file. So your configuration file is an old version. So that's why his download failed. Let's see here. It usually only takes about 30 seconds. It's less than a minute to do a compile. This is running on a fairly beefy server. It's running on a 3960X Threadripper CPU. So, but basically it's going to go ahead and compile the firmware and spit it out. So if you want to play with input shaping, you've got to do it through the online editor, and it is on the version 1 and version 2 easy board. So it is just under the community requested features on both of those. So if we go here, there we go. It compiled my firmware. I can download my firmware.bin file, put that on my SD card, and flash the firmware. Again, if you want to edit it on your computer, you can do that. Just make sure you're using the latest configuration file. So like that one we saw where it said the version was wrong, the software looks and sees what the configuration H version is. So if you use an older configuration H version, it's not going to work correctly. So you got to make sure you're using the correct one. Otherwise, it will throw errors and it will not do anything, just like that one. So read the firmware log. So basically, like on if you're using VS Code to compile, those errors are down in the bottom on our site. We actually capture that log output and then put it to a file so you can, troubleshoot it yourself to see what's going on, why it screwed up. So, all right. All right, so Boomer88. Hi, Tim. I didn't ask probably last night. Is there anything in the works to be able to install an EasyABL on the Ender 6 with the MicroSwiss direct drive? We do not do designs for the MicroSwiss. MicroSwiss will typically do designs for their customers since that's not a product we sell. We don't go and make mounts for third-party products. We typically will only make mounts for the stock printer hot end. So if you're using a third-party hot end, you're gonna have to see if either someone made one and put it on Thingiverse or contact the company and ask them. MicroSwiss is pretty good, and I have interacted with them. I think they're we are actually getting ready to order parts from them. So maybe we'll start doing mounts for them. But typically in the past, they have designed mounts for their customers. But I don't plan on buying that Ender 6 direct drive because I do have my setup I'm happy with on there. But yeah, you do want to contact them because that is a third-party part. We only guarantee mounts for the printers that we officially support with their stock configurations. So it's not feasible for us to do, spend time designing mounts for another company's product. My whole thing is if a company's put on a product like that and they want their product to be popular, they should take the time to design mounts for popular auto bed leveling probes like the BL Touch or EasyABL, etc. So, all right. If the giant panda chooses to attack, will Remo save you? He'll definitely do a protect. Remo, I'll give you a dingo stick if you get her. Let's see. Get her. Good boy. Where's your dingo sticks? Oh, they're on the other desk. Good boy. Vicious attack dog. Can you guys tell? All right. Ronald Gervais says, what's your opinion on smoothers? I have Ender 5 Pro. So here's the thing. TL smoothers, I saw you say you were talking about TL smoothers. So TL smoothers used to be a thing. They have been shown to make an improvement on like some of the 24-volt printers like the Ender 5 and even the Ender 3 with some of the older 8-bit boards. But I don't think they're worth it anymore at this point. They do introduce other issues, so you're adding more failure points into there, but they don't make a huge difference. Like we used to sell them, and then we started seeing less and less printers needing them, so we discontinued them. Like for example, like I would probably just end up replacing the board. I know like the Ender 3 and Ender 5 boards with the GD32 chips, those have really bad artifacting on the stock firmware and even our firmware just because of how the board is. I would just replace it. Like if you switch out if you have a GD32 422 base board and you switch it out even for the cheaper 427 board Creality makes, your print quality is going to get better. If you switch it out for our EasyBoard V2, your print quality is going to get better just because those boards don't have the same type of drivers. And that's going for the ones that don't have the silent drivers. So like the 422 came in 2 flavors. I just realized I had put my chair down yesterday for some reason. I was like, man, I am not fully in frame here. But yeah, I probably wouldn't waste your time on it. I would rather just, if you're going to go through that, just change out the board. Even if it's a Creality board, you don't have to spend the money on our Easy board, but either one's going to give you better print quality. Dan Porter says he installed the Easy Belt Pro. I got this set where I have to heat the bed. The bed won't heat. Well, that's an unrelated issue. I would check to make sure you didn't knock any cables out when you were assembling, like reassembling things. Assuming you were in there connecting things, maybe something came loose. But yeah, the sensor is not going to cause your bed not to heat. So I would start there, look at your wiring. Maybe your MOSFET that heats your bed went out. I don't know what printer you have, but if you have like a CR10 or like a CR10S Pro, those have a separate external MOSFET typically. And if you don't have an external MOSFET, it could just be that your board MOSFET decided to give it the ghost while you were working on it. It's not a super common issue, but it's something I've seen come up. So, yeah. Also, make sure you didn't enable, well, I was going to say make sure you didn't enable the AC bed option in our firmware, but that completely disables the bed, and it won't even show you a bed thing. So, yeah, any cubic Chiron sounds like something might have gotten unplugged. Check the jumper wires. I'm trying to remember if the LCD kit changes. I know the temperature sensor goes through the adapter PCB. If it's a Chiron, that is a printer that is more involved because of the breakout board they have. I would say double check that your connections are going to the right pins, because if they're not going to the right pins, it's not going to go. But I would have to pull up the documentation. Ours has been running fine, but typically, especially since that printer is a little bit different of a beast. Let me see. Let me pull up our docs here, because I believe Chiron. Let's see, because I know the that PCB. I believe the heater. I know the thermistor goes through it. But I can't remember if the actual heater control goes through it. No, it doesn't. So if we look here, let me move over here. Main monitor. All right. So if we look here, this is like our connection diagram here. The heated bed goes directly to the terminals here. Remote, go lay down. Goes directly to the terminals here. The only other thing I can think of is maybe if there was a regression in Marlin and I didn't catch that when we did the updates. So I would recommend, actually, if you can do this, are you by the printer right now? I'm curious, because that would give me something to track down. Where's my chat go? Oh, it went over here. All right, let's see. If we go to, I'm going to go to our GitHub here, and we do have old versions. This is what I'm curious. It could be either something's not connected right, or what I'm thinking, because I feel like we had this before, is it could be that Marlin did a update. So we went from 2.093 to 2.12, and I tried to move over all of our customizations and changes, but it's possible that they broke something in Marlin, which then broke something in our firmware, because we're using Marlin. Try using this Anycubic ramps firmware here for the 2.53 release. I'll post this in chat and see if it works. If it does, there's the link. Try using that firmware and send us a support ticket and I'll grab it, because I'll be the one to look into it. Let me know if that works. If that does work, then there's probably something Marlin changed on the back end that then broke the pin config, because they've done this multiple times where they do an update. I'll even tell them that there's pins that are wrong on certain board setups, and they don't change anything. I'll do a pull request and it'll get denied, but whatever. So we just fix it in ours. But I feel like we had this last time we did a jump from Marlin, from one version of Marlin to the next, and I had to patch it. I'm willing to bet if I look at my commits here, I'm looking, I think it would have been like ramps would probably be in the comment. Let's see. Let's see. Update ramps and mel's. Nope, that's not it. I think it's even older than that. Like, I'm getting deja vu here, because that's a ramps board, so that's going to use the ramps pins. I feel like somebody had this issue, or either that or it was the reality board. But the Marlin dev team likes to change things. So I don't know. Give me 1 second here. Why can I not think? This was a while back. I'm trying to think how long we've been on. I wish I could search my commits. I probably can. I just don't remember how. Chiron. Nope, no Chiron ramps. I feel like we've had this before, and it's right after we did a Marlin update because they changed things. All right. Oh, here we go. Chiron heating bed fix. Okay, I know I'm not going crazy. Like when you said that, I remember having to fix something here. So you can see here, Marlin 2093. So last jump we made, the pin settings got broke. So I'll look at this. I'm willing to bet something changed because the MOSFET C pin was supposed to be 45 and they had it set to 8. Screw it. We don't have too many questions today. I can let's do some live debugging here. So our Chiron is in the print farm, so typically print farm printers don't get messed with. If it ain't broke, don't fix it with the firmware. So we do test compiles to make sure our compiles work. And then just assume that the majority of other things are functioning. So that was done in the Tri-Gorilla 1.4. So let me see. Pins, ramps. Is it ramps? Yeah, ramps. I'm assuming it's still going to be the same folder here. Tri-Gorilla 1.4. Now let's see. Now normally I will do a compare and merge over changes I made from one to the other. But let's see if that change made it in or if it's something I overlooked when I was doing the merge. Let's see, fan E0, MOSFET B pin. So MOSFET B pin is set to 45, which 45 is what it should be. So Chiron rep wrap discount smart smart controller. So they changed that file a lot. So basically I got to go through because I'm willing to bet they're importing the ramps file. Yep, so they're including ramps.h. So ramps.h is going to get its MOSFET pin. Okay, Tri-Gorilla mapping Chiron. So they changed it. That's probably why it's not working. It's probably a software issue. So if you try the 253 version of the firmware I linked, it's probably going to work because that was the last version before we jumped to this one. I'm willing to bet they broke something here. So I'll have to pull that in. Let's see. Well, let's see. Let me get to some questions. We can come back to this and do some live debugging here. How's that? Let me switch back over to the main camera. All right. So let me know, Dan, if you're by the printer, go ahead and flash that older version. Let me know if it works. If it does, then I know what needs to be fixed. All right. So have you heard of weird issues with the firmware crashing? Why? When using the filament change from the LCD, it happened to me the other day. It crashed and then put it back to where it was before the crash. So if your Y is crashing, that's probably a printer issue because when you do a filament change, it's going to execute the filament change routine. And the filament change routine parks the head. So basically, it's going to park the head, I believe, at 0, 0. Let me go back and look at the... I have our firmware open here. It's the nozzle park feature. Nozzle park, where's nozzle park? I believe that's in the backend file. I was looking in. There we go, nozzle park feature. So our firmware is set to park the nozzle at 10, 10, 10. So 10x, 10y, and then plus 10 on the z. So if your printer bed size is incorrectly configured, like maybe you modified the printer, you could replicate that by telling your bed to go to 10 on Y after homing. you probably are losing steps or something. It's going to be a physical collision. So basically, when you do a filament change procedure, it executes the nozzle park feature, which then puts your nozzle at 10x, 10y, and it'll move the Z up 10. When it's done, it'll move it back to location. So if something's crashing, that's a physical issue with your printer not matching the firmware config. So if you like modified your printer, and you lost some distance on Y or something changed from stock config, then that's going to be something you need to suss out on your own. But yeah, so if it's hitting when it goes to park, it's trying to park at 10x, 10y. So that should give you a good starting point on where to start troubleshooting. So, all right. Lossing says, do the default values input shaping need to be removed? No, they don't. Just leave them in there. You can, I have not tried compiling it with 0, but basically you just put, like we left the Marlin default value, so the 10 and the damping factor is 0.15. The 40 hertz default setting is the default for Marlin, so we have there. And then you do the calibration, you measure it, and then do the calculator. We have the calculator on our website, and then put in your own. So you can just leave it. It doesn't matter. It's just a placeholder. 1 second. All right. Sorry, my freaking thing just disappeared. All right, I got the questions back up. Yeah, so you don't need to change them. You can just leave them at the default. It does not matter. 3D Experiment says, I already calibrated my flow, but my top layer quality isn't great. What should I try? I'd have to see pictures of it. I would make sure that your E-steps are what they should be, and then play with your flow rate and stuff. Give me 1 second. So if your top layer quality isn't coming out great, what does that mean? Is it like bulging from over extruding? Are you getting gaps? Are the, ends of the actual infill not, or the top layers, I should say, not meeting up with the walls? Like what are you trying to tune out? Because depending on what you're seeing will result in different issues, or different resolutions to the issue, if that makes sense. So, yeah, Nemo, I don't know what your issue is for the Y hitting. I haven't had that on mine, but usually if your axis is hitting something when it's being told to go to a certain direction, something's not correctly set up with the printer. Maybe the bed size is off. If you figure out what it is, let us know. If there is a legitimate bug, send us a ticket in so we can look into it. So I don't have an answer for that. All right. I'm Save 3D Experience. He said, my pull requests get denied, store my life. Yep. I don't bother that much unless it's like something for our products, because usually those will get merged in. But even then, like, it sucks. Like, open source stuff is great, but you get a lot of maintainers that, think they're more important than they actually are, and like just want to enforce arbitrary rules for no reason. One of the examples would be the Clipper guy. I think, what is it, Kevin or something? We wanted to post example configs to the main Clipper repo to help people with the easy boards using Clipper, and have commented out sections for like, hey, if you're using a BL Touch, you can uncomment these lines. If you're using NeoPixels, you can uncomment these lines, Easy ABL, etc., because their documentation is ass. And they just was, no, you can't have any of that stuff in the config file, even if it's commented out. I was like, okay, dude, you can piss off. Like, you clearly want to gatekeep by making this harder for people to set up. There's no reason it can't be in your example files, because it's going to make it easier for people to set up. It's almost like they want you to jump through the hoops. You have to jump through the hoops and read their crappy documentation to actually use their complicated software. So that's one of the other reasons I just don't want to deal with Clipper, is like the whole community around it is just like these entitled guys that, have like some little semblance of power, and they want to, enforce it on other people. I don't know if I'm using the correct words, but it's just like arbitrary bullshit that I don't want to deal with. It sucks when you're trying to make things easier to use for people, and they're just like, no. Well, why? Because I said so. It's like, guys, this only affects our board. I'm literally the owner of the company who made the board. Let me try to help our customers out by putting better configs out for them in the official Clipper repo. I'm not even asking you to maintain them. I'll even maintain them. But after that, I was like, yeah, I'm done. Clipper's got a bunch of entitled neckbeards running the show. So anyways, there's a tangent. All right. We don't have too many questions. I might wrap this up early today and go play with the firmware. Dan Porto, if you're still in here, send a ticket in because I'll ping you and see if I can get that resolved today. I'm willing to bet it's something to do with that. And I think what happened, was the file was so different because looking at the 2093 file versus the 212 file, I just assumed looking at it that it looks like it'll probably work correctly, and I guess I assumed wrong. So, but if it works with the 253, then that's the issue. It's just a pin configuration, and I'll be able to sort that out. So if you got time, send me a ticket, and I'll link up with you. I'll send you like a Teams meeting link or something after I wrap the stream up here, so I can probably resolve it pretty quick. And then post a patch. So, anyways, but let's see. I think there's one more question, and maybe, yeah, there's like one more question in here. Yeah, Dan Porto, send me a ticket, please, and just put that you were talking to me on the stream, and I'll grab that as soon as I wrap this up. So we're gonna wrap this up in a sec. I don't know where Remo went. I think Remo followed Krista up. There was somebody here, so, the panda went to go investigate. Anyways, last question is from 3D Experiments, and he said, have you picked a new slicer yet? I'm still plugging away when I'm not using Simplify 3D. I still do use Simplify 3D, but I'm using the older V4 version. I have been told by my brother Doug, who still has a V5 license, he did not get his money back. He's sticking it out. Thank you, Dan. I see the ticket number. I will grab that. That he said they have been fixing things, so it looks like their support is getting better, which is good. Like, I don't want them to fail, so maybe they have turned things around. So, yeah. But he said they did fix some issues with it, but there is some still weird differences with the workflow on version 4 versus version 5. So, I'm sticking with version 4. But in terms of slicer that I'm jumping ship to, I am going to be, I don't know, I'm hiccuping, but I am going to be moving over to Super Slicer. So, which it works, and I like how tunable it is, but oh my god, is it complicated? I see, like, S3D is not complicated, but Super Slicer, there's a lot there, and there's a lot of settings and getting used to. It's like, it's just jumping to a new, platform for any piece of software is always kind of a pain because you're set in your ways. And I've been using S3D for, over 5 years, almost 6 years now. So, but yeah, Remo's not here. I don't see him. I don't see him on any account. Remo. Oh, wait. I think he was just in the theater room. I don't know where the dingo sticks are, though. I know she gave him one. Hi, buddy. Here they are. Here they are. We got the dingo sticks. Yeah, you're a good boy. You protected me against the panda. You protected me against the panda. Come here. Okay, can you do a sit? Oh, you knew I was going to ask that, didn't you? Shake. Hang on, sit. Shake. Good boy. Yeah, we did a protect earlier, so we're going to give you the stick. So, anyways, I guess apparently today's a slow time. Make sure you guys enter our Valentine's Day contest. So if you want to go directly there, it's th3dstudio.com/VDay contest, all one word, all lowercase, or just go to our main website. It's the first thing on the slider on our site. And then Dan, I'm going to look at the code and let me know if, while you're waiting for me to reply back to you, I already grabbed the ticket and put it in my queue. Let me know if the 253 version fixes the issue. If it does, then I know what is required to resolve it. So I was going to be like, it sounds like a printer issue, but then I was like, wait, we did a major Marlin update, and I feel like we've had this issue before, and that's why I was getting some deja vu. So anyways, sorry about all over the place. I'm definitely going to play with the voice changer more because this thing is really cool. So I will, hopefully that bleeped out. Did that bleep out? I wish it had. Would it be cool if they had like a real-time AI that can detect what you're saying and automatically bleep out certain words? That'd be neat. But
Yeah, maybe that would lead to an uprising from robot taking over. But thank you for watching, and as always, happy printing. I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm sorry, but I can't let you do that, Tim.